Sometimes what makes life feel heavy isn't some big tragedy like an accident or losing someone we love. It's actually the little things we think don't matter, like getting yelled at by a teacher in front of the whole class, being compared to your older sibling, or being left out by your childhood friends just because you brought lunch that they said was weird. No one ever called it trauma. Even we didn't realize it. We just thought, well, that's just how childhood is. But our brain and body store all of it. Not always as memories we can tell, but as patterns. How we react, how we think, even how we protect ourselves. The thing is, our brain isn't just a regular storage space. It doesn't save memories like files you can open and close whenever you want. The brain, especially the parts that handle emotions like the amygdala and hippocampus, is more like a security guard and a file clerk working together. But sometimes they freak out. When we experience small but painful moments, like being embarrassed or ignored, the amygdala might tag that as a threat. Even if it only lasted 5 minutes, the imprint can stick around for decades. And because our brain doesn't logically scale how important something is, anything that makes us feel unsafe can be treated as serious. Now, unlike Google Drive, these memories aren't just stored. They get replayed, reactivated, especially when we face similar situations. That's why sometimes we overreact or suddenly feel anxious over something small. It's our brain pulling up an old file without us even realizing it. What's interesting, and kind of heartbreaking, is how those small traumas can sneak in and become part of our personality. We often think, that's just how I am. I have trust issues. Or, I'm just not good at getting close to people. But sometimes it's not really about personality. It's the result of adapting to past wounds. In psychology, this is called a coping mechanism, the way our brain and body try to stay safe. And because we've used it for so many years, it starts to feel like it's just who we are. But really, it's a response. A response that may have helped us survive back then, but now it holds us back. Neuroscience shows that the neural pathways we use the most become our default. So if we grew up learning not to expect too much from others to avoid disappointment, our brain will keep choosing that path, even when we're grown up and things are different. What we often don't realize is that our body is always speaking, and sometimes it's the most honest part of us. Like, why do we suddenly start sweating, our heart racing, or our stomach churning before speaking in front of people, even though we've practiced? Or why do we feel completely drained after being around certain people, even when there's no logical reason? That's because the body has its own memory. In somatic studies and research like The Body Keeps the Score, it's explained that trauma, big or small, can get stored in the nervous system. It lives in muscle tension, in breathing patterns, in how we sit and carry ourselves. And since we're raised to prioritize rational thinking, we often forget to check in with what our body is trying to tell us. But sometimes, what we really need to do is pause and ask, what is my body actually feeling right now? Sometimes we feel like we need to have some super tragic story before we're allowed to say, I'm hurt. But the truth is, pain doesn't have to be dramatic to be real. Small traumas are like fine sand in your shoes. You can't see them, but they make every step uncomfortable. And because we keep walking, keep working, keep laughing, we tell ourselves, I must be fine. But we're not always. You don't have to wait until you completely break down to start paying attention to yourself. You can begin with small things, noticing your reactions, getting curious about why you feel a certain way, and giving yourself some space. Not to blame the past, but to understand that everything we went through, no matter how small, played a part in shaping who we are today. And the good news is, once we understand the pattern, we can slowly start rewriting the path. Thanks for watching all the way through. If you've made it here, chances are something in this message resonated with you. Before I sign off, I want to share something that might be exactly what you've been needing. The Breaking Free from Mental Illness Bundle. This digital package is designed for anyone ready to free themselves from the grip of overthinking, anxiety, and emotional overwhelm, not just on the surface, but deep down, where real change happens. Here's what's inside. First, a reflective and transformative ebook. Think of it as a written inner guide, like hearing from a wiser, more grounded version of yourself. It combines philosophy, neuroscience, and modern psychology to deliver 7 core keys to help you climb out of mental chaos. These aren't just motivational words, but deep, thought-provoking reflections to help you reframe your mindset from the inside out. Next, 7 brain booster audios with targeted affirmations. These audio tracks are carefully crafted with specific brainwave frequencies to reach your subconscious, paired with affirmations that are scientifically structured to stick. They're ideal for listening before bed, when your brain is most open to rewiring. This is for you if you feel trapped in constant mental noise, struggle to make peace with old emotional wounds, want a method that doesn't just talk at your mind, but speaks into it. This isn't a quick fix, but it is the beginning of a journey back to your calm, whole, and authentic self. If this feels right for you, the link is in the description or in our official account bio. Take your healing seriously. You're worth the effort.